it's Erin. I'm here with my friend Olivia.
Hello!
Today we're going to be doing a video that I've gotten so many questions about, but I am just not qualified to talk about it at all. And that is formal spring recruitment. So Olivia is a Pi Phi at Baylor. I'm a Pi Phi at Tech, but we do our formal recruitment in the fall. They do theirs in the spring.
Yep.
So since I've been getting all these questions, I was like, okay, I need you to come and we're going to talk about it because I am just not qualified to talk about it. So,
Yep.
yay, it's going to be fun. But they start their recruitment on
January 11th
so
is when it starts.
I'm going to link all of Olivia's social media and everything in the description. So if you have any questions that we don't address, this is your girl, because I'm not. But anyways, let's just get in. We're going to start by kind of just breaking down how it's laid out, and then just kind of like some random tips throughout that. And then I asked you guys some questions on my Instagram story, so once we talk about all that, we'll go through and answer those. When we say spring recruitment, we don't mean like
deferred
open bids, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is like you don't do fall recruitment at all,
Yeah.
or maybe I guess do y'all do open bids in fall?
No, we don't. Some
schools probably do, but this is like literally just like your big recruitment spring.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole first semester is really just about like meeting girls, meeting older girls. We have a ton of opportunities for like the P&Ms to meet older girls in different chapters. So we have different events like Panhellenic previews, which are basically, it looked a little bit different this semester since it was all online. But basically that is like, first of all, we don't have houses at Baylor, so we just have a Panhellenic like building. And in the building are all the different chapter rooms. And so for the Pi Phi room, during the Panhellenic preview, the girls can come in and just meet like a ton of different Pi Phis, ask questions about Pi Phi. It's kind of like a mini recruitment in a way. Like you just get to meet girls.
And so do you think that's really important for people to utilize before?
For sure. It's honestly such a blessing to have spring recruitment for that reason of like, especially for freshmen that are coming into college, don't really know a ton of people, are still trying to adjust to like the college life, that sort of thing. It's great to have the whole semester to kind of get a feel for what chapters you like, how you feel like you connect with the girls and that sort of thing. So honestly, I love spring recruitment for that reason. I remember like when I was a freshman going through like recruitment, waiting like the whole first semester to be able to go through recruitment. I would see different friends like Erin and other friends that I had that go to different schools like going through recruitment at the beginning of the
like
school
right
year.
When we get to college.
And I would always be like, oh my gosh, like they're having so much fun. I wish that was me. Like I'm just sitting in my dorm. I don't have a ton to do. But it honestly is so worth it. Yeah, it's awesome because you get the whole semester to like figure out what works for you and also just get adjusted to college and like that sort of thing. So there's definitely pros and cons to it. That was one thing that was nice too, is to have the semester to like actually figure out like the reputation of each chapter and like what I feel aligns best with like the things that are like a priority to me and that sort of thing.
And like reputations in a way that's not just like girls talking on like the lawn being like, well, I heard this sorority parties all the time. Because those are usually false. But if you're actually going to school with all of these sorority girls and learning about all the sororities when they're in their genuine just going to school selves for a semester, you know what's true and not true. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of benefits and bonuses to having spring formal recruitment. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't get that. But I guess like how is it laid out? I think it's pretty similar to fall, but if you're wondering.
From what I understand, it is kind of run the same way as fall recruitment, but it might be a little bit different. So we go back this year, so we have to go back like 2 days early. So I go back January 9th, it starts January 11th. And actually all of our dorms are closed. And so the freshmen have to do recruitment from their houses, which is a little bit different. But it's all new because it's COVID and it's Zoom and all that stuff. But so
if you guys want more information on like Zoom recruitment, I did a whole video on that. So I'm going to link it below. So we're not going to really talk about Zoom a whole lot because I feel like it's just beating a dead horse at this point. But if you need any advice on that, I already did it.
Yeah,
so.
And if you're in college right now, you probably have a good idea of how Zoom works because you've probably used Zoom at least once. But and so they'll be at home doing recruitment or wherever they are. Some girls are like renting houses, whatever. But it'll start January 11th and it's looking a little bit different this year. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about how it is this year and then how it normally is on like a regular year. So this year, all of the P&Ms had to submit a video, like a 1.5-minute video, just introducing themselves, talking about like facts about themselves, different things like that, just so that we get a good understanding of like who they are. And so they submitted all of that by like December 5th, around there. It was like the deadline for that. So for open house, which is our first day of recruitment, that is sort of the day that like we'll be watching all of those videos. So I honestly don't know what the P&Ms are doing on that first day, because for us it's mainly just like watching the videos and getting a good idea of the girls and that sort of thing.
I know for us, and I don't know if it's the same, but when we were watching their videos, they were watching ours.
Okay, yeah. So that probably is what it is. Because usually in like a normal year, so how it was when I was going through recruitment, for the first day you would go to all 9 houses and spend, I don't even remember how long, but you'd spend a good amount of time in there talking to different girls, and they would like kind of bring you around. They have a process of like bringing you around to different girls and meeting girls, that sort of thing. So it's definitely a long day on like a typical recruitment of just like a lot of standing, a lot of talking, a lot of like, what's your major sort of questions. And then, so yeah, that's the first day. Then our second day is philanthropy day. So we'll just kind of play a video talking about what our philanthropy is, different opportunities that we get with our philanthropy, that sort of thing. And then have an opportunity for P&Ms to ask questions or get a better idea of it, share what we love about it, that sort of thing. And then our next day is sisterhood. So that's more just kind of the, what is Pi Phi? What are the values of Pi Phi?
It's like the deeper conversation.
Yes.
I also made a video with like conversation tips during recruitment and like kind of gave a rundown on like what you can expect in each day's conversation. So I will also link that below.
Yeah. So that'll be super helpful. But so that's kind of what sisterhood is. It's just like sort of emotional, more like just deep conversations, getting to know like why we really love Pi Phi or whatever sorority you're in.
And you can really figure out like how much you connect with people.
Yes.
Because it's not just like the basic conversations, it's like really personal.
Yes. So like that is true. Like you'll get a good idea of like, okay, is this a space where I feel like I can connect emotionally, or like, do I align with like the values of this chapter or whatever. And then the next day is pref. So you'll have 2 like houses left on pref. And that is the day where it's like, you just like, we want you in this place. Like this is just kind of, it's like sisterhood on steroids a little bit.
Yeah, just, literally. Sisterhood on steroids. And that, I mean, everybody cries. I cried. And
I like literally walked in, started crying when I walked in, and did not stop crying until I walked out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just is awesome. And like, for me, I knew that I loved Pi Phi from the beginning, but like, that day was the day that I was like...
I was the same way. Yeah. All the sororities will put on like a really pretty ceremony in their own way, and just like make the girls that are there still feel really special, because by that point, you've learned so much about the girls and they've learned so much about you that you really have built bonds, and they if you're still in their pref, they want you.
The next day is bid day, which is just you open your bid and it's like the best day ever.
Christmas.
It's literally Christmas. Like, it's so fun. But this year, so we will start on like Monday, I think is the 11th maybe, and we'll go Monday through Friday, and then so Friday will be pref day, and then Saturday is usually bid day. But since all of the P&Ms are going to be at their own houses, Saturday is actually a travel day for them. So they'll be traveling back to campus, move back into their dorms, that sort of thing. And then bid day will be on Sunday, which is going to be a little bit different. Yes. Our bid day is going to be online, which is a bummer because a lot of schools that did it in the fall had it in person. But I don't know. Just since everybody's coming back from Christmas break, don't really know where people will be.
It's definitely like the safer option.
Yeah, it's a safer option for sure. For the most part, fall and spring recruitment are pretty similar.
I think they are too.
Like, I mean, obviously the difference is, like, one major difference is one is, like, right after the summer, and one is, like, more in the winter. So, like, the things you'll wear will look a little bit different.
Which, let's jump into that, because that... what do I wear for spring recruitment is like one of the main questions I've gotten, and I'm like, I have no idea. So
it's definitely, I don't know, for me, I love like fall winter clothing, so it's great. So for us, open house day is like, we'll get a t-shirt to wear, and it'll just say like Panhellenic spring recruitment or Baylor spring recruitment, something like that. And we'll wear that, but you get to like kind of dress it up the way that you want to, but it's definitely a more like casual day.
So would you wear like jeans or like cute pants?
Yes. So for me, I wore black jeans. Our shirt was white and it had like light blue writing on it. So I just wore like black jeans with holes and little booties and like a blue jean jacket and the t-shirt, and then like necklaces and jewelry and that sort of thing. The next day is philanthropy day. So kind of the way that they explained it to us before we went through recruitment is it kind of is like in regards to what you wear, it kind of just like escalates. So like the first day is more casual and then each day it kind of gets dressier. Philanthropy is like a little bit cuter but like not like super super nice. A night on the town with like your friends, that sort of vibe.
I'm curious, do people like, because I know for ours, since it's in the summer, you wear like a dress. Like you basically go from a jean skirt to dresses.
Yeah.
Like, so would y'all just do like nicer pants and nicer tops?
Yes. I wore a skirt and a leather jacket.
Oh, that's cute.
And so since I don't know how other schools that do spring recruitment do it. Since we don't have houses, we're all in like one big building. So we actually don't go outside at all unless you have like a break between times. But if you're going from like house to house or like room to room for us, like you're not going outside. So if you were wearing a skirt or a dress, you can kind of get away with it because you'll really only be cold when you're like walking to
and
the
also
building
you live in Texas, so it's not like a whole exactly super cold.
No, like I think last time it was like maybe 50 or something, so it's still definitely cold but like not awful. Sisterhood is like definitely a little bit nicer, like more like what you would wear to church. So I wore just like a black little dress. It was long sleeve, so it made it still like wintry, and it had like a little tie, and then I wore like black booties, whatever. So it just is like a cuter outfit. And honestly, like you see everything. Like you'll see some girls that like dress super super nice, and some girls that like
and you just
don't
want to
dress
like
super nice,
wear what you would wear.
Right.
Like don't dress a certain way just because you feel like
just present yourself.
Well, this sorority does this, so I'll do that too.
Right. And like you don't want to be like fake during that week. Like present yourself the way that you are, and like you'll end up exactly where you're supposed to be. But it's better to like completely be yourself. Like obviously put your best foot forward, but like be yourself. So pref we wear like much nicer. It's like very formal. So I wore like a navy jumpsuit with like,
I was gonna say jumpsuits would be so cute for recruitment.
Yes. So jumpsuits, like so many people wore jumpsuits. So that was sort of the vibe. Not a ton of people were wearing pants. If they did wear pants, they were like super nice pants with like a fitted top and a blazer or like something that just is like looks professional. I would compare that maybe to like a super nice dinner or like a wedding or something like that.
A wedding vibe.
Yeah, probably wedding. But just something that you feel comfortable in, that is like
and do most girls wear heels or like babies?
Most girls wore heels, which you just kind of have to realize that your feet probably are going to hurt.
You know how like all those big jackets are really trendy right now? Like the plaid?
Yes.
Like I feel like those would be so cute for recruitment this year.
Well, and it just is fun too because you can do so much with like winter clothing. So just have fun with it. It really is such a fun week. Like I know it can be stressful, and like going in, I doubt there's anybody that's like not a little bit stressed about it. But when you have the mindset of like, I'm going to end up exactly where I'm supposed to be with the people that I'm supposed to be with, it allows you to just have so much more fun during the week, because it really is supposed to be like an enjoyable time where you're like meeting girls and like being in a sorority is fun. So just, I don't know, try to have the mindset of like, this is something exciting that I'm doing.
Yeah, and this doesn't have to have all the pressure.
No, it doesn't have to have all the pressure. And honestly, like if you're more relaxed and just go in having a more enjoyable like mindset about it, it actually allows you to be more personable and like interact with people better because you're just like comfortable in your own skin. So those are kind of some of the tips that I would give.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then I'm gonna pull out the questions off my Instagram and we'll just answer a few of these. Yeah. Somebody asked, is it better to do recruitment in the spring or the fall? And what we say to that is it just really depends on your university.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong way to do it, but I think if you want to get a feel of every house, do it when your school does the formal recruitment.
Yes.
So we do formal fall, they do formal spring.
Yes.
I don't think it's bad to take a open bid after recruitment or in the spring. For example, for us, like we don't do formal spring recruitment, but you can rush in the spring. It's just only a few houses do it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. You just don't get to feel out every house. Yeah. And I think that that's a nice luxury that comes from the formal recruitment, so that you get to know everyone.
For Pi Phi at Baylor, we don't even do open bids. Like
neither does Pi Phi.
Yeah. So it really depends on like the chapter that you want.
This question kind of goes off that. It was, is it the same as fall recruitment? And if it's formal for both, then yeah, it's the same. It's just literally just a different season. Okay, so this girl asked, which is kind of relevant for both, but she asked, what do we do if we were asked trick questions like about partying or drinking?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I would say it probably is best to just like avoid those kind of conversations during recruitment, because it really like.
And honestly, I have never known of anybody asking trick questions.
I don't think anybody asks those questions, and if they do, then that's not a very good reflection of them, because those aren't the kind of things that we even really want to know.
I don't want to talk about that.
No, like that's like, there's like a thing like partying, boys, and like
booze.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's
something else. There's like a little thing that, whatever. But like, there's just things that like don't really need to be talked about.
Like politics. Don't bring up politics during
recruitment.
Right. I know one thing they told us for fall recruitment, and I talk about this in my conversation tips, was like, don't bring up COVID. Just don't. Because every sorority and every P&M is going to try to bring up COVID when it's like a boring conversation. Just don't. Be different. Okay, I was thinking of something when we were talking, like, what is the best way for a P&M that's going to rush in the spring to do like their fall semester as regards to like how they present themselves in public, like partying and all that, because obviously like people are going to see that. My card got full, we're back.
It's kind of like an unspoken thing, maybe it is like a spoken thing too, but like it just is smarter for freshmen or P&Ms to not necessarily be in the party scene for the first semester while you're like meeting older girls and like being interested in sororities. Like it just doesn't really paint you very well, and like it just is smarter to kind of avoid that, the whole scene, at least for that first semester, just because it's not really worth it. Like you can wait a semester if you want to
really
go
risky.
It's really risky. Like if you want to go out like later semesters, that's totally fine, but like first semester it just is wise to like find other things to do on the weekends or during the weeknights, like just because if like an active member does see you there, they're gonna remember your face or like remember your name or something, or see how you're acting, and like all of that kind of plays a part in like the reputation that you create within a chapter.
Especially if you're like acting a fool or something.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
That stuff like that gets around, and like that can just set yourself up badly.
Yeah, whatever.
And I guess if that is such a huge priority to you to be able to go out, go for it, and then you'll probably end up with the girls that also take that as a priority, which is not a bad thing. Right. So it's just, you really need to assess like what your values are and what you really want out of it. And kind of determine how important partying and all that would be compared to other things. Yeah. Because there's nothing wrong with it. If that's what if you want girls that'll do it with you, go for it.
Exactly. Like exactly. Just kind of overall a standard that you should have is just like maybe take the first semester to like do other things on the weekend or go see a movie, or like, I mean it's COVID, so like obviously there's some things you can't do, but just kind of try to avoid that, mostly just because it doesn't look super great on you when like girls are trying to evaluate what girls we want in our chapter, that sort of thing.
That's pretty much all the questions and little bits of advice.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you for having me.
Again, random videos for recruitment in the description. Olivia's social media if you guys have any more questions.
Yeah, seriously,
she's really
feel
good with
free
advice.
to like reach out to me if you go to Baylor and are going to be going through recruitment. Maybe you'll even see this like next year for like the next year's recruitment. Feel free to reach out to me, or if you go to another school and have questions about spring recruitment, I'm like totally great to answer questions. So,
yeah, she's giving us the best advice. It'll be so good. But yeah, well, I love you guys, and I love you.
I love you.
And ring ching, baby.
Ring ching,
we'll
baby.
See you soon. Bye.